Good afternoon and welcome to Skin Deep Belfast's Derm Doc podcast. This is a new podcast for us and this one is with our very special Dr. Brian Murphy. Now, Dr. Murphy is from Cathedral Dermatology Clinic. Hello, it's lovely to have you here for your podcast. And if you want to introduce your guest for today.
So this is Dr. Suzanne Clements, a good friend and colleague of mine, who is a consultant dermatologist in Belfast City Hospital. And we've worked together for many years and invited her along today for her insight and help for any difficult questions.
We're going to get insight. We're going to be able to ask the questions that you've always wanted to know about skin, but it's not just about skin. It's about acne. It's about itches. No topic is off the cards here at all. So we're going to get started immediately with these two experts and we're going to talk about lumps and bumps and moles and things that are keeping us in the dark. So let's get down to it. Let's talk about sunbeds. Let's talk about SPF. Let's talk about myths. It's all on the table, so let's dive in. So, Dr. Murphy, Brian. Call me Brian. Let's start. What should we actually be looking out for when it comes to moles and skin changes?
So moles are the pigmented marks on our skin.
Yes.
And many of us are born with them.
We all have them.
Yeah. And in our kind of fairer, paler skin type here in Ireland, Northern Ireland, there's a lot of moles. But what you're looking for is a changing or a typical looking one. Doesn't look your normal. We would sometimes nickname that the ugly duckling.
Yes.
So it's different to your normal freckles or moles. And a way of trying to monitor your moles, if you've got a few of them, is using the ABCD rule.
Yes.
Which I don't know if you've seen on Derm net. It's now ABCDEFG. There's loads of different.
Oh, is there another one they've added to it? They've made it more complicated.
Nice and simple, ABCD. So that would be asymmetry. So whereby the mole, you couldn't fold it over on itself. So it's become asymmetrical. The borders are regular. So it's not just a nice fine line around it. The colour is either changing or there's multiple different colours or it stands out as a different colour to a mole you already have. And then D used to be diameter. That it's 6 millimeters or bigger, but many of us have moles
6 millimeters.
over 6 millimeters.
That's quite big.
That's quite big.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people have moles even bigger than that.
Yes.
So I tend to tell patients just to look at moles that are developing. They're changing in size, itch, pain, bleed. They're the ones.
Any of those. And at that point, you need to come to a doctor such as yourselves. Obviously, at your clinic, you can just refer yourself and come and see you directly, and you can obviously bypass your own GP because we know these days that there's huge queues and they're very under pressure. So if you are worried about a mole, it's as simple as picking up the phone and ringing the clinic and getting an appointment. And then what happens during that? You just look at it, and do you know by looking?
Yeah. Well, we would pattern recognition after looking at probably thousands through many clinics and experience over the years. We examine it clinically to look at it because a lot of things aren't moles. But we appreciate people don't realise that. There's lots of benign crusted things that look like moles but aren't. Yeah. And then we would use dermoscopy. Do you use dermoscopy?
Yeah, so dermoscopy is a brilliant tool that we have. It's like a magnifying glass, but it's got really clever way of us to be able to see the detail in the mole. And we would use that for all skin lesions, really. It gives us a really good close-up view of what's going on.
And what else can skin cancer look like? Is it just moles?
So I think the first thing to say is there's different types of skin cancer and they all can look different. So I guess when we're talking about moles and pigmented brown marks, we're thinking about melanoma, which would probably be the skin cancer that people think about when they say skin cancer. Everyone thinks melanoma, which is the highest risk in skin cancer, really. It does carry the highest risk. But there are other types of skin cancer
which aren't necessarily brown.
Yeah, which are more common.
They're more common than
melanoma would be, not to say the rarer one. We do see quite a lot of it, a lot more of it happening now because of sunbeds and things which we know we'll come on to. But I think one of the commonest ones that we would see is what's called a basal cell carcinoma or a BCC.
Yes. And what is that?
So a BCC, they tend to look like pink lumps. Sometimes scaly patches, sometimes bleeding marks or crusted scaly marks on the skin, but certainly things that don't heal. That shiny, ulcerated or broken lump that doesn't heal.
Or like a little itchy sort of patch that just doesn't go away. Now, I know that my own mother had something on her forehead and she kept going, this isn't healing, and it sort of got crustier, and eventually she did go private, of course, and she had to get it removed.
Yeah. So they can be very, I think pink things, would you say, very non-specific. There's so many, I know in our mind we could name you about 5 or 10 things that are pink and scaly.
Yes.
But certainly the non-healing, bleeding thing, no matter what colour it is, get it checked.
And you have to get it, yes, because people shouldn't be living with things that aren't healing.
Mm-hmm. If it's been there for a number of weeks and it's itchy,
maybe 6 weeks,
and it's not going away,
and
it's getting bigger, then
get it checked.
Absolutely get it checked.
There are a lot of myths around the sun and skin cancer and things like that. So I'm just going to throw out a few things and tell me if this is true or false. Okay. You don't need to wear sunscreen in winter.
False.
You do need to wear sunscreen.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Even with our pathetic weather.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about skin cancer prevention.
What is it about?
Anti-aging and preventing sunburn. Because I think that's the biggest thing now is, yes, prevention of skin cancer is what we all talk about and what medicine is there for. But I think both of us in our cosmetic line of work would see people who want to look younger. We're not going to turn back time with sunscreen, but certainly what you're doing is trying to prevent.
So every single day. But then what about, I know a lot of people then go, oh, but if you put sunscreen on every day, you'll not get enough vitamin D. Is that rubbish? Feel free to say that's rubbish.
I think from a dermatology medical point of view, it's very, the important thing is to say, yes, sunscreen all year round, even in Northern Ireland, is definitely recommended because you're being, on a sunny day, yes, it's more obvious you need to wear sunscreen.
Yes.
But even when it's cloudy, those UV rays, especially those what we call UVA rays, they go through the cloud, it can go through your windscreens, through your windows, and that goes deeper in the skin. So there is still a potential risk of, skin change, skin cancer developing.
And what about SPF that's in like a foundation for women? Is that good enough? No. I've kind of heard it's not good enough.
My stance on it is it's usually not enough.
Right.
So the National Institute for Clinical Excellence, NICE, who list all the kind of guidance for our kind of healthcare in the UK and how things are, treatments and guidelines for managing things. They upgraded the base SPF recommendation to 30. And a lot of cosmetic products have 15.
And that's not enough.
No. And what SPF is to do with the time it takes for your skin to go red or burn.
Yes.
So you're looking for that maximal extended amount of time to prevent that. Obviously, the ideal is not to get burnt.
Yes.
So I tend to recommend that, in the months of, say, September to February, if you're using a combination product, at least factor 30 in it, that's fine.
Yes.
But through the summer months, you should be thinking of putting an actual SPF sunscreen on.
What about another myth? Darker skin doesn't get skin cancer. Now, I have skin that honestly is like, I don't know, white as white can be. It's like a wall, it's like a painted wall. But I mean, there are people who have lovely olivey skin and Asian skins. What about that? What about skin cancer on, say, Asian skins or black skins? Still a thing, right? Still a thing.
Still happens. They do have, so the brown pigment in your skin, that melanin does offer you some protection against skin cancer, but it still happens.
It's not absolute. Bob Marley famously passed away from melanoma of his foot.
Of course. Yeah. And what about this one? I see this all the time on Facebook. I'm just getting a wee base tan before I go away to Spain. What? Is that a thing?
No.
No.
Essentially, what a tan is, as Suzanne said, is that your body produces melanin in response to UV to surround the skin cells and protect them from sun damage. You're protecting your DNA with melanin, which is released in little bubbles of, they're called melanosomes from the melanocytes to protect. So the sort of way I describe it to my patients is think of a hamster in a wheel.
Yes.
And that hamster's going along happy enough.
Yes.
That's your skin in nice harmony working away. And then you go into the sun and that hamster works a little bit harder just to produce a little bit more protection.
Yes.
That's healthy, that's normal. So it's doing what it should do, but pushing it to the excess of trying to change the colour of your skin through sun tanning.
Yes.
That hamster's going to fall off the wheel at some point, and that's where you're getting abnormal DNA signals sent off into the skin and into the memory cells of your skin, and then eventually something happens that you don't want to happen.
Yes.
Whereby you might have a cancerous change in. So it's very simple. It's not completely 100% probably how things work, but it keeps it simple as to why you want to keep your skin healthy rather than putting it under strain.
Yes.
And looking to get that base tan, the tan is something you shouldn't be aiming to get.
You shouldn't have a tan.
If you have a tan, that's the sign that your skin is actually damaged.
Yeah. So then that leads me back to my next myth where people say, oh, I tan easily. Oh, look at me, I tan so easily, I'm safe. No.
it's still not protecting you.
No.
You're allowing your skin to get to the point where it's trying to protect itself.
Right.
So you should use your sun protection.
Yes.
For that risk prevention.
It's so cold and miserable here, and it's a nice day, and we're like, oh, I just love the feel of the sun on my skin. But you should have sunscreen on. Yeah. You can still get the vitamin D, I assume, through your skin. I don't know. I'm obviously not a doctor. You're looking at me going, she's talking rubbish.
It's about being sensible, I think, you know, and there's moderation. And I think, yes, vitamin D is important, and we get a lot of vitamin D through the sunshine.
Should we just take a pill for the vitamin D?
I think you probably find most dermatologists would be quite happy to take their vitamin D supplement.
Not try and get it
exactly.
in the park. Right.
Yeah. That's where we are. Yeah.
And I think I'm not too sure of the specifics, but I think the amount of exposure you need over a year is something ridiculous, like half an arm for so many minutes a week.
Yes.
So it's very, very little amount of exposure to a bit of daylight.
You're not going to get rickets.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Now, let's talk about sunbeds. Can you believe that sunbeds are still legal? It is crazy, isn't it? Because, you know, nowadays, if you see somebody smoking, you're like, oh my God, that person smokes. You know, it is quite outrageous to see somebody smoking. So why are they so risky? Try and explain to me and to people listening why sunbeds are so bad for you.
It's uncontrolled UV.
Yeah.
So you've got, you know...
Is it worse than the real sun?
I think it's
intense.
Yeah.
And...
in such a close quarter.
I mean, we don't want to shame people, because I know a lot of people love a sunbed, but they just aren't good for you.
No.
I think it's the risks far outweigh any benefit.
Yes.
Of, you know, as I say, it's skin cancer prevention, but equally so, not only are we activating the melanocytes, but the UV will have implications on your dermis.
Yes.
The fibroblasts, which produce your collagen, your elastin. So we see those photos of people with that leathery, very brown, dark skin later, you know, in their...
There is a meme, isn't there? There's a meme we've all seen on the internet, isn't there, where the woman's like, I don't know, she looks like a turkey that's come out of the oven.
Yeah. And that's just her skin has just been so damaged, and people look a lot... people come to me from old checks, and you see freckling across their forehead and their shoulders, and even in 20-year-olds because of sunbeds, because their skin has got that pigmentation and loss of texture and elasticity because of sun. So that high intense sunbed induced exposure, there's just no way of saying how much UV you've had, potential for burning. It's totally unregulated, and
just don't do it.
People aren't advised.
It's harmful. It's harmful radiation. That's what you're
It's
doing.
radiation.
Yeah. It's ultraviolet radiation, and
I
that's
often
what
wonder,
it is. You know,
does it damage your like organs? Whenever I've been in a sunbed once in my life, because I thought I have to try this, and I felt like I was cooking.
Yeah.
Like I felt like maybe I was roasting.
The whole thing, your body temperature will rise as well. It's such a small cabinet.
Be good, yes, but people are still using them, so we're not here to shame people, but possibly not the best. The other one thing that I want to ask, you know, whenever you were little and you ended up getting a lot of sun damage, I mean, I got sun damage here. Does that go away? Can you reverse that, or?
As if from a burn?
Yeah, like my son recently, who's ginger, I might add, went out and ran the Belfast Marathon with no sunscreen on. You can imagine the state of him. Whenever he came in, he was like a pork scratching, quite frankly. You know, can he revert? And I look at him and go, oh, Dara, look at that skin. His beautiful milky white skin is now freckled. Is that damage forever?
It can be persistent.
Yeah.
I think from, you know, if you acute, what happens after a sunburn, if you do have it, is to really protect, you know, to really, really moisturize your skin intensely in the short term. Obviously, if anyone's unwell with sunburn, you need to speak to a doctor.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's early days if it's just been a Belfast Marathon. And in time, your skin cells turn over, usually once a year, or sorry, once a month, should I say. And but freckling and so forth can be a stain left behind.
Yes.
From
I like how you call that, stain.
A stain.
A stain.
Reminder.
Yeah, a reminder not to do it. So for everyone going away this summer, plenty of Factor. Oh yes, what's this other thing? Covering your moles. Is that a thing? I think I saw that on your social media.
Right, Did
I? About covering moles. That's a thing that I see people do.
People do
so
that.
They get the little plasters.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
People do it.
Yeah.
And I can see why people do it, because there's my mole, I'm going to just cover that up, and you can see why.
Yeah.
But actually, it's important to cover to protect all of your skin in exactly the same way. Yeah. So I normally recommend to patients say, look, ideally it's a factor 50 sunscreen. You put it on before you go in the sunshine, usually about 10, 15 minutes before. You reapply every 2 hours, and you just do it absolutely everywhere that is exposed.
Yes.
Because actually what we do know is that melanoma skin cancer, most of the time when it develops on a normal part of skin. It doesn't usually develop from a pre-existing mole. It can do, but melanomas are more likely to appear on a normal area of skin. So it's important to protect all of your skin.
Right.
I think if you, what I tend to say exactly the same as Suzanne, but if you think you put your rectangle plaster, so it's not just a spot, you put it on across the way, and you've done that day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4 you go out and put it the other way along. That skin and that around that mole and whatever, your skin, obviously the rest of it has been in the sun and has been exposed and is aware of that. Whereas that area that hasn't had that exposure and you might be a little bit more lax on day 4 of your holiday, then that skin burns. Yes. Because it's now no longer covered. So it's sensible just as a holistic approach.
Yes.
To use your sun protective measures.
So what have we learned today? We have learned the ABCDE F rule.
GHI.
So if you go onto your social media, what is your social media, Brian?
Derm.ni.
Derm.ni. So you'll learn about that there. We've
and
also
Suzanne has her own page.
And what's your social media?
Dr. Suzanne Derm.
Dr. Suzanne Derm. So the other thing we have learned is you've got to keep an eye on things. Keep an eye on things. Yeah. Don't Google. Go and see somebody about it. Go and see one of these amazing people here. Don't ignore it, because that's the worst thing you can do. We've also learned you've got to use the SPF every day and ditch the sunbeds.
100%.
So that's it for episode 1 of Skin Deep, Belfast's Derm Doc podcast. Thank you very much to Dr. Brian and Dr. Suzanne, who have taught us so much today. Next week we're back and we're going to talk about itching and eczema, things like that. Looking forward to hearing all about that. Thank you very much, you two.